furnace in our motorhome started making a horrible squealing sound when the furnace turned on. When this first began, it would be a temporary noise as the fan started, but it grew worse and lasted longer as time went on. The bearings on these fan motors wear out, and after about 20 years of use, it's time to replace this one. Our RV is an Airstream motorhome, and it has an Atwood Hydroflame Excalibur 8535-3 furnace. Replacing the motor on this furnace is not a hard job, but it takes some time and care. There's a motor upgrade replacement for the DC 85-3 and the 89 series models. Make sure you get the proper replacement kit for your furnace. These new motors come with a new motor mount, and the wiring is permanently attached to the motor instead of the plug like the old motor. The new motors are also designed to give more hours of performance. There are only a couple of tools required to do this job: a long T-handled 1/8-inch Allen wrench, a 1/4-inch long-handled magnetic nut driver, a small brush for cleaning and a vacuum cleaner, and a multi-tip screwdriver. We begin by turning off the power and gas to the furnace. I turned off the power by turning off the switch on the thermostat and closed the main valve at the propane tank. Next, open the outside door of the furnace. Once it's open, you'll want to clean out the dust and dirt that accumulates in there. I decided to remove the ignition control circuit board to make a little more room to work and to clean in there. This circuit board is secured by a single wing nut at the top. Once it's loose, you can remove the board from the furnace. There are 4 1/4-inch hex washer head sheet metal screws holding the blower cover on. Remove these with a magnetic nut driver. When the screws are removed, you can open the cover to see the circulating air wheel. To make some room to work on the combustion air wheel area, remove the exhaust tube. It's secured with a wing nut. After the nut is removed, twist and wiggle the exhaust tube to pull it from the furnace. Have a look at it and clean it out if it's needed. Looking through the circulating air wheel, you can see the 1/8-inch hex bolt that secures the wheel to the motor shaft. Using the 1/8-inch hex wrench, loosen the bolt and slide the wheel off the shaft. Inspect the circulating air wheel for any damage. Mine was in good shape, so it can be used again on the new motor. Next, using the same 1/8-inch Allen wrench, loosen the combustion wheel set screw, and this will allow you to remove the motor from this wheel. The wrench goes in this little tiny hole, which will line up with the set screw on the fan. Now we loosen the fastener on the motor mount. Probably just take it right out, and that'll allow you to remove the motor. With the motor removed, we can clean the circulating air wheel housing. While fitting the new motor into the motor bracket, you can see the difference between new and old wiring. The old motor had plug-in leads for the motor, while the new one has permanent leads. I decided to modify the old motor mount to fit the permanent leads. I used a hacksaw and a pair of pliers to enlarge the opening for the new motor wiring. With the wire opening modified to accommodate the new wiring configuration, the motor should go right in. Rotate the shaft a little bit to get it to fit into the combustion wheel. Seat the motor firmly and tighten the fastener on the motor bracket. Adjust the combustion wheel's position on the motor shaft so that the wheel does not contact the housing, and tighten the set screw. Inspect the circulating air wheel and locate the opening for the Allen wrench to access the set screw. Mount the wheel on the motor shaft and check the position of the wheel to assure clearance in the housing. Close the blower housing and replace the 4 screws. Reinstall the ignition circuit board and secure it with the thumb screw. We're almost done now. All that's left is the wiring. You reconnect the wiring by connecting the ignition wire first to avoid a nasty shock. Then plug the connector back into the ignition circuit board. Here's the procedure for connecting the new motor wires. Remove and discard the old red positive 12-volt DC wire that goes from the relay to the motor. Attach the red positive 12-volt DC wire from the new motor to the relay. Then attach the black negative 12-volt DC wire from the new motor to the ground lug above the blower cover. Cut the old yellow wire flush with the blue splice on the motor side of the relay. When the wiring is reconnected, replace the exhaust tube and secure it with the wing. Now it's time to try the furnace with the new motor.
Turn it off.
Unfortunately, my test did not go well.
Jeez. Half of the wheel disintegrated.
I thought I had plenty of clearance for the wheel in the housing, but the rivets that hold the circuit breaker on-off switch to the housing intrude a little further into the housing than I thought. Mount the wheel as close to the right side of the blower housing as you can without touching the housing. I picked up another circulation wheel, and after checking the clearance very carefully, everything worked. There's no more squealing, and the furnace is working great. I hope you find this video helpful if you have to do this project. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. And if you want to like and subscribe to this channel, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.